Rios and Salem are back in Army of Two, the 40th day. Matt Turner from EA has stopped on by to give us the lowdown on what to expect from everyone's favorite PMC soldiers when they hit Shanghai. Mike, take it away.
Cool. All right, Matt, so tell us a little bit about what you're showing off here for the 40th day. What's new compared to what was in the first game?
Well, there's two major things that are really pushing and are really new for Army of Two, the 40th day. The first thing is this destruction theme. So it's this thing where it's not like a Battlefield Bad Company where you can blow up walls and do that kind of cool stuff. It's more like a disaster happening to you and around you in this environment. The second thing is organic co-op. So it's a sense of we present the players with a suite of moves that they can do, and then they can use those moves wherever they want, however they want in the environment to negotiate the problems that we give them. So those are the two main points that are really different.
So it's not sort of like a linear thing where now you have the co-op moment, now you have the shooter where it doesn't matter where you're.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us a little bit about?
Yeah, absolutely.
What you're talking about?
So a couple of things off the bat. For those of you that have seen the game before, the Army of Two, the first one, their masks were always down. And what that did was it created these really cool, iconic, faceless killing machines, right? That were really empowering and fun to play with. But when it came to time for cutscenes, you didn't know who was under that, so there was no real connection you could make with them. So now when there's no combat, the mask goes up, you see the face, and you kind of make the connection with the two guys and who they are, and it gives them more of a dynamic feeling, which is pretty cool.
So how long did you guys talk about the types of tattoos that you should and I mean, my God.
We were in board meetings for weeks. We've actually had a couple of guys email us at the studio and ask us for the key art so they can get those tattoos done, which is pretty cool. Before I jump in here, I was going to say also, a lot of games, all these big things have happened, and it feels like the cool stuff happened 5 minutes ago. And you come up and there's a ship that's blown up. Like, oh, that would have been awesome to see, but you didn't. What we're trying to do here is make that stuff happen to you, and you're involved in it, and you kind of see as it's going on around you. I'm going to jump in and show
That is actually a fantastic observation, because I'll tell you, almost every game does that, and the one time I was really blown away, completely.
Like this?
Yeah, completely. Well, besides this, obviously, I'm going to be blown away here. Yeah. The only time I've ever really paid attention to it was that. What was it? Earth Defense Force 2017?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, so that one, the alien ship comes down and blows up. Yeah! So it's nice to see it in a game with actual graphics.
So we're going all with that idea, but I also mentioned the organic co-op thing, and that's just not in how the players interact, it's also how you interact with the environment and the kind of controls you're giving the player. As you see, I'm tucked in the cover there, and it's an automatic system, but it's not one of those button systems that locks you in. You always have the freedom of movement if you want, but it's organic, and it's also very fluid, and you have that chance to move if you want to. We also worked really hard on the through the gun experience and kind of the buttons and how that feels as well, making you feel the guns are really punchy, they sound really good, and when you hit the buttons, you know what you're going to get when you do it, and it feels really powerful.
It's shake when you fire. It's sort of
absolutely, and how the muzzle flash, and we did a crazy gun recording, and all that stuff, which is really important in the shooter space, obviously. This next thing I'm going to show you guys right here is this idea, which is new for Army of Two, obviously, is this idea of pre-combat. In the first one, the enemies existed in the environment just to be killed by you, so you'd roll in, they'd be waiting around. In this one, we really have this thing. You're in Shanghai, it's a disaster, and it's obviously a heavily populated area. So there's lots of civilians and people. So this mysterious force here has found some civilians. I'm going to check them out and see what they're doing. I'm going to go up on this superior officer here, and I'm going to take him hostage, and his subordinates will automatically surrender.
What was that gray screen that popped up there?
That's the co-op playbook. So here I got this guy, and now I'll get into that in a second, but the partner he has going to go in here. I'm going to ask him to tie them down. So there's another thing we're talking about.
You don't get to kill him, you have to tie him down.
Well, that's the thing. You can if you want to. That's the idea, right?
Okay, good. I'd kill him.
Yeah,
if you were smart, you'd kill him.
Well, no. Well, excuse me. I'm not a brutal, faceless, killer
Lady
machine.
Macbeth over there.
I'm a sweet guy, and I like to keep people healthy. No, but the idea is giving the players choice, right? So this idea that if they want to, they can go in there guns blazing and kill all the hostages that you see here, or you can be that kind of take the moral high ground and do that. And what you get from that is the civilians act as kind of like a currency in the game. So they will give you money or maybe weapons parts that you'll be able to use later on in the weapons customization system.
Now, not to go back to the killing, but if you were to kill them, would the civilians still help you?
If they were to live, maybe, but they probably wouldn't live because those guys would turn on them pretty quickly.